Intakes are an easy way to make your car sound a lot better with that awesome induction noise. Plus, they've got a performance benefit. Come install one on this A7 with me. Alright, so here you can see all the parts laid out, and this burnt titanium is going to look sweet. Taking a quick look in the engine bay, we can see the original intake is pretty accessible, so this should be a relatively easy install. The only thing to be mindful of is we're going to have to remove this front fascia just so that we're able to get in and unclip the original ducting. First up, we're popping off the engine cover, and then we're going to loosen the two hose clamps on either side of that main intake to just start pulling stuff off. With that front tube off, all we had to do was knock off the two hose clamps, and we had to get that vacuum line that you see poking out there at the end. That exposes the throttle body, so now we just need to remove off this air cover. We're popping off these two front clips so we can remove this front fascia. Future Ben here. Once you remove that front fascia, there's going to be 3 Torx bolts that you're going to need to pull off. One covers a plastic cover, and then the other 2 actually help you remove that intake. Back to the video. So with this front air tube removed, this intake pops out, but you'll notice it gets stuck. There's a hose under the bottom that you're gonna have to get your hands dirty to find, to knock off. You'll have to pinch it, pull it off, and this whole box will come out. So this is the hose we were trying to remove. You'll see the edges are ribbed for your pleasure, so you know where to grab it and squeeze to release these 2 clips. After that, airbox pulls right out. With everything out, we can start with the actual install. This is going to attach to your throttle body. In order to install our heat shield, we first need to drop these 2 little silver pieces here into the original mounting positions so that we can thread in our new bolts. This is how it should look. Be careful, these rubber things are kind of wacky, so take your time with it. Grab a screwdriver to help influence it, and you're gonna be all set. With the bolts lightly threaded, we're gonna put back in that plastic intake scoop so that we have a bit more maneuverability when we're setting everything up before we drop the intake in. So with these 2 Torx screws remounted, before we tighten down the heat shield, we're getting in there and we're lining up this bolt with the little hole on the heat shield just to line everything up before we tighten it all down. With these bolts now locked in, we're gonna take this little filter adapter combo and mount it right there to lock in that hose. With the intake mounted, you'll notice this little barb here does not reach the original hose. So they include an extension and a little connector piece so that you can join these 2 hoses to connect the hose to that barb. So with it all done, you'll see it's connected to that barb, through the connector, and then runs back down to the engine. So we're all done. We're just gonna tuck this in and then mount our cone. You'll notice there's a few filled ports. This is if you wanna do something cool like meth, but I don't do meth. So for the cone assembly, you'll notice there's a plastic adapter piece that has a hose clamp that'll sit onto the actual cone. And then on the other end, you're gonna put the wider diameter part of this silicone hose with that clamp, and then this smaller one is going to attach onto our intake to line everything up. A pro tip is that when you're installing the cone, line up the 2 bolts where they tighten up, where they clamp up, so that way you can hide them underneath the intake when you actually go to do the final install. Huge shout out to Can Auto Performance for being a cool Canadian brand. We love your stuff, and this thing is going to sound sick.